Okay, before we put the bolt in the bead blaster, we're going to tape up everything that we don't want to get blasted. So I'm going to carefully line this tape up with the original marks from Remington had on here. And this is a really old bolt, fellas. And we're just going to tape it up. So set that at so that it goes up as a spiral. Tape it all the way to the end. Put some tape across there. I just don't want to blow off any of the bluing that's on the rest of the bolt. I only want to cover up, I only want to blast what I'm going to re-blue. Nothing fancy here, just covering it up. You don't have to put the tape on real tight either, because if you put it on real tight, it just makes it a lot harder to get off. So now we're going to throw this thing in the blaster. I'm going to turn this on and it's going to get really loud, so hang on just for a minute. So when we pull it out of the blaster, it's nice and clean. You don't want to touch it with your fingers because we're going to go over and we're going to blue it. So let's go over to the sink, and where I do my bluing, I'll show you how we get that blued. Okay guys, we're over here at my kitchen sink, if you want to call it that, in the shop. This is, I keep my microwave over here, a couple of dishes, pots and pans, some glasses or whatever, but this is where I have my running water. I've got hot and cold water here. So what you're going to need is an old toothbrush. I'll use the old toothbrush on these. We brought the bolt over just like it came out of the blaster. We didn't touch it with nothing. We're just going to blue it. We're going to use Brownell's Oxfo glue. That's what's in this jar. And I'm going to use a little bit of heat. Now I like to put a little bit of heat on here just to knock off the moisture. Believe it or not, there's moisture on here. And you can see it when you heat it up. You'll see the moisture go away. I don't know that you'll be able to see it in the camera, but if you ever do one of these, you'll be able to see it with your naked eye, the moisture that's on there. You can see that moisture. I can see it. Maybe you guys can see it on there. See that? You just want to heat it up enough to get rid of that moisture. Okay, now I don't see any more moisture on there, because just dip it into the Oxfo blue. Just dip it in there. Take your toothbrush, work it around nice. And this toothbrush needs to be clean also. You don't want any kind of oils. You don't want to touch it with your fingers. Careful with the Oxfo blue because it is an acid. Don't splash it in your eyes. If you guys noticed, I've worn my safety glasses throughout this entire process. There's some jobs that I'll do in the shop without safety glasses on, and there's other jobs that I won't do. I don't machine, I don't run a lathe without my glasses on, ever. You will catch me every now and then blowing some parts off in the milling machine with an air gun, blowing chips off, and I should probably wear my glasses then too, but occasionally I'll do that without my glasses on, but not very often. Alright, so we're going to rinse that off with cold water. Just wipe it off with a paper towel. Now we're going to untape it. And I've got somebody getting ready to come in the door here, so I'm going to find out who that is, and I'll get back with you guys and finish the unmasking. Okay, so we're back. We're unmasking the bolt now, and you just, real easy there, just pull the tape back off of the bolt. And the only thing that's been blued is the head of the bolt. It practically looks like a brand new bolt. So now we're going to go back in the other room. I'm going to blow this thing off, dry it out, put some oil on it, and then we're going to install the extractor. Okay, so we blew this off with an air hose. I've blown down through here, blew all the sand, glass beads that was in here, blew all them out. Dried it out completely, blew out all the holes around here, and now we're going to spray it down with rim oil. So we're just going to put a little Remington oil on the end of it here. This can's about empty, and I want to spray, hold that up here where you can see it, I want to spray a good liberal amount of oil down through here and just let it drip out. See it dripping out there? That way I know I've got everything good and clean down through there. Alright, so we've got a good coat of oil on this. And now, although this was a cold blue that I used, it'll hold up really, really well doing it the way I did it. Put a little heat on there, and it really puts a nice deep bluing to the material here. So now I'm going to wipe this off with a paper towel. I'm going to blow all the excess oil out of it, and we're going to assemble and install the extractor. Okay, so getting back here to the install. When you get your extractor, it's going to come in a little plastic bag. It's going to come with one extractor, one little spring, and one retainer. You're going to assemble all that, and it's pretty much a one-time deal. Once you put it together, it's together. It's not meant to come apart. You can get them apart if you really, really have to, but there's your three parts right here. Little bitty spring, retainer, and the actual extractor right here. Okay, so you're going to need this punch. This is a little 1/16 inch derrick punch. This is the smallest punch I've got in the shop, and that's what you're going to need. You're going to want to put this little bitty spring down in that hole that you drilled into the bolt. So you got to have some good eyesight to do this. I use these magnifiers. I wear them just about all the time. You got to be real careful because you only get one spring. If you do it right and you take your time, you can push it right down in that hole. I know you guys probably can't see this, but it's got to go down in that hole. Then you're going to take your retainer, and you can see the retainer is a part that's been turned down on one end. That's the end that goes into the spring, and it's been machined on the other end with a little flat. That's what captures the extractor and keeps it from coming out. So now that's got to go down in that hole also. So you're going to lay it in the slot. You're going to use this little punch, work it around until you get it to go down in that hole. Now don't push it very hard, just get it in the hole. If you push it very hard and it slips off the end of your punch, it'll go shooting out across the room, and that part will be gone forever, and you'll have to order another one. So once you've got that in there, you have to line up, the milled part has to line up straight. So it's just a trial and error type of thing. You just got to roll it around there until it gets straight. Okay, so I've got that lined up straight. I know you can't see it, but it is. And now we're going to take the extractor, we're going to set it in the slot, and we're just going to push on it and push down. And again, you got to be really careful to do this just right and get it in the slot, and it'll pop in the hole. Now it's in there, and you have a properly working, perfectly centered Sako extractor that will eject your rifle cartridges. Let me grab that piece of brass that we used earlier. And we can test fit it to make sure that everything's working. Now here's how you want to test it. You want to put the cartridge, set your extractor at 12 o'clock. Put your cartridge in the bolt at 6 o'clock and then close it. Did it fold right in there and clip? And it stays in there. You can't, if you pull straight on it, you can't pull it out. But if you lift up on it, it'll come out of there. So that's what you want to check. It goes in, snaps in place, it stays in there. You've got just enough retention on the extractor to hold that in place. And then when you raise up on it, it'll fly out of there. So when you've got your ejector pin in that hole, which we're not putting an ejector back in there because it's for the muzzle loader action and you don't use it. But if the ejector pin was in there, it would flip that out when it opened, cleared your ejection port on your action. So there it is, fellas. Sako Extractor Install. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me about 3 times as long to put the Sako extractor in as it would have taken if I wasn't doing the video, but I enjoyed doing it, enjoyed showing you guys how I do it. It's not that critical to put them in as long as you have the right tools, the right machining technique, and get your numbers right. They go right in there every time. If you enjoyed the video, you want to see more videos like this, give me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Support the YouTube channel whenever you get a chance, and I'll try to put more of these videos on there on the how-tos, the little jobs on the how-tos in the gun shop. So this is my first time how-to video to do something like this. I hope it turned out good. I didn't have a videographer. I had to do all the camera work myself. And I know you didn't get a lot of good zooming in and zooming out and all that, but you just can't do that when you're by yourself doing the work and running the camera. So thumbs up on the video if you liked it. Let me know about it. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this one. Till the next time, fellas, we'll see you.